Hello, my name is Magdalena Proszowska and welcome to 10-minute tutorial where I will show you the process of painting a stylized portrait. Before I started painting, I created 3 very quick sketches. They took me about 5-10 minutes with different compositions, with different ideas that I would like to create. From those I choose one that I like the most. My next step is to take the sketch and polish it to the better version. So I add more details, I place the line art more carefully, just to push it to a state where I am sure I figure out all the basic problems of the anatomy. You can see that not everything what is on the sketch will be later visible in the final painting, so it's not a sketch that I am extremely attached to. It's still work in progress and I will change it while painting a few times. Even on this stage I am still thinking about the details. I first draw in those big earrings in the shape of stars, but later remove them. Unfortunately, my recording crashed when I was putting the first colors, and that's the first step I have for you to see how my first colors look like. In short, my first step is always to fill the whole canvas with one color. I don't like to start just from the white. I like to start with a color that will harmonize the whole composition. And for this picture I went for this pale orange color as a background, and then I slowly with a very big brush starts to build up the color composition of the whole picture, not yet thinking about the details at all. And the details is something that I will get into after I am happy with the big picture, how the colors works together. I will come back later to some elements. For example, I didn't painted the hands at the very beginning, so I needed to go back to the sketch and really think about the composition of the hands and draw them in first as a sketch, and later I can, using the sketch, color it correctly. You might notice that I am flipping canvas horizontally. It really helps me to refresh my vision at the picture, and I also see better the symmetry issues if I place something in a wrong spot on the left or right side. If I flip the canvas, it really helps me to see it with the fresh eyes. Or even I will flip it upside down when I really want to just focus on the composition of the colors and shades, not on the details. I try to not paint in a one spot for a very long time. I rather try to jump all around the picture, paint slightly here and slightly there, and let the whole picture develop at the same time. Thanks to that, I will not make a mistake that I will over-render just part of the picture and later, after zooming out, notice that, oh my gosh, it completely doesn't fit the rest of the face. I don't really paint zoom in, not at the early stage of the painting. I try to work on the zoom out as long as is possible with as big brushes as it is possible. It is very tempting to start just painting the details because those are the most interesting to do, but my painting as a whole will really suffer if I will just focus on the details. This painting is the type where the idea is developed in the middle. The idea for the butterflies and the yellow eyes was something that I got in the middle of the painting. It's not always how I approach my drawings. Other times I have the full idea developed before I will even place the first colors, that I actually have everything thought through in the sketch state. But it's not always the case. And for her, the whole personality and charisma I really created in the halfway through the painting, and you will see forward that I also will change a lot in her emotional state on the face. I thought that she looked slightly too innocent. I wanted to give her slight attitude, so you will see me changing the expression in her eyes and a smile. The choosing the color is not an accident. The violet and the yellow color are the complementary color, and it's something that I did at the very beginning of the picture. This is the color palette that I choose, and with the picture coming together, I notice more occasion to really exaggerate the contrast between those colors. So for example, her eyes really look intense because they are surrounded by the violets, and the whole gradation from violets at the top to the yellow at the bottom, it's intentional. I make those decisions right now very intuitively, but before I had the skill, I very often started with the color compositions. So I took my first sketch and make it in 3 to 5 different color versions before I will decide which one is looking the best. But the more you paint, the more things you really feel with your guts, and you know by the first instance that, okay, this is a right way of doing it. I will quite often separate the picture to the layers. It's always safer, and if you are not sure of the effect, what you want to paint, it's always better to start on a new layer, and if you see it's nothing good, you can always hide it without losing the whole process of the painting that you have below. So elements like the glitter here, almost everything I painted on the separate layers, and quite often I use the selection tool where I want to have a very hard-edged structures and achieve a very quick effect. I'll just grab a selection tool, draw the shapes with the selection tool, and color them inside the selection. From the technical side, I am using a Wacom Cintiq 24 HD. I am using a special pen for painting. It's called Art Pen, and you can get it in any Wacom store that supports rotation of the pen, and a lot of brushes in Corel do have support for it, so many of them rotate with the rotation of the pen, and it's really nice to paint with that. Now I start the correction of the gesture of the face. So I will grab just a selection tool, select the elements that I want to move. Like for example, I want to raise the eyebrows, so I will cut them from the main part of the picture, move them, rotate them, place them in the correct place, and paint them in so there is no visible edge. Together with this video, soon there will be additional videos showing my process of painting face features, so you can see in details how I approach painting a specific objects on the same picture, everything step by step. So you can see here that the butterflies I had on a separate layer, so I didn't have to care much about the hair. They stayed there on the lower level, painted as they are, and I could move the butterflies around without being afraid that that will destroy any part of the painting. I don't really use a lot of the effects of the layers. Sometimes I will use multiply if I want to darken the shadows, or I will use any of the lightning effects to add a glow, like overlay layer or a screen layer. But nothing really extreme. As soon as you start introducing those elements and you will not be consistent and have them on a whole picture, they will really stick out, so you need to be careful where and how you apply it. I like when my paintings have a more traditional feel, to the extent when I see that I need to fix something, instead of using a quick way of doing it, transforming it, or using some kind of effects to fix it, I would rather just overpaint it again. It might take more time, but I like the effect much more. The whole picture I painted with maybe 3 to 5 brushes. I really don't use that many more. I feel the less brushes I use, the more consistent whole picture is. A few final touches and I am completely done with the whole painting. Hope you enjoy it and have a great day!